Greetings, everyone. Spirit Wisdom Reset is back.
We
And
back.
I hope that you are ready for another amazing episode. And this is our Adulting Ish is Permanent series. And this particular episode, we are focusing on boundaries. If you have not caught the previous episodes in this series, then definitely check out the intro and then the first episode, the intro and acceptance is what we talked about. And yeah, now you are in boundaries and we are going to talk about it.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
Maya, kick us off. Let's talk about
Honey, honey. Boundaries. Ooh-wee. Boundaries are created by souls to specifically keep a particular frequency in place. That's what a boundary is. A boundary is not something to keep people away or to tell people off. It is a set of actions that are implemented to keep a specific frequency in place. The question is once you realize, honey, that this adulting ish is permanent and you are where you are, and you've accepted what you've accepted, and you've gone through the processes that we talked about for your homework over in the acceptance session. That's episode 1, acceptance session. Okay. Then you have to place boundaries up, but you first have to know what your boundaries are, and you have to examine the type of frequency that you want to be in. Like what frequency does this place me in? My acceptance, this is what I accept, this is what I've chosen. And what type of boundary do I need to create? Or what set of actions do I need to take to maintain this specific frequency? And you want to make certain that this specific frequency that you're wanting to maintain is that of elevation, evolution, expansiveness, abundance, joy, love, peace, happiness. So when you set your boundary, you must first know. A lot of times people say, oh, my boundary, they think of boundaries I need to protect myself. I'm doing this for protection. This is to protect me. This is for you to understand that this is what I want. I believe this, and you can't cross my beliefs. But for me, I feel a boundary is a specific set of actions that one aligns themselves to maintain a specific frequency. And when you look at it from that particular point of view, you don't create your boundaries with hostility. You don't create your boundaries with judgment. You don't create your boundaries based off of past trauma. You create a boundary, a series of actions for yourself that you will follow so that you can teach people how to treat you. You will teach people by what you say, how you say it, what you do, how you do it, what you think and how you think it. You will teach people your boundaries in those ways. But you have to walk. That's a series of actions that yield a specific end result. And for a boundary, it's the end result is to maintain a specific frequency. So if you want, like I said, you want to make sure that your frequency is full of those things that you can live with on a regular basis. And then you live that way. You live that way and you show people this is what that is. And if someone comes in and their frequency is off by their actions or their words, then you can kindly show them the right way for you in your area by the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you are, the way you act. And they can choose to stay around or not, and or you can choose to stay around in that atmosphere with them or not. So I believe that boundaries are important. I believe that boundaries are necessary, but they're not necessary for the other people. Those boundaries are necessary for us. We're setting the boundary up for us to walk in a specific way, to live in a specific way, so that we can maintain a specific frequency. For me, that's what boundary is, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Boundaries, it's one of my favorite topics. I love talking about
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. I could talk about it all day. And one of the things is it can be very challenging to try to create boundaries to keep other people out, so to speak, if you don't honor your own internal boundaries and you don't start to like it has to start from within first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it should and then that should just um, be showcased through your actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
um, because people are going to test you, and so is the universe and your ancestors and whatever you believe in. Okay, they're gonna test your gangster friend. Okay,
Okay, all the way. Test,
so you
test.
can just be out here. Listen, talk is real cheap. You could say you
Mhm.
could say something, and I like if you're one of those people that you say a lot of stuff, but you don't back it up with actions. It's like no, like take the action first, decide from within, and then allow yourself to adjust before you start announcing everything to everybody. Like
Okay,
make sure
live
it
it.
makes sense for you.
Good. Come on now, say that again.
Because
Do it yourself before you announce it to the world. Good, because you don't do
yeah,
yourself. 'Cause you ain't even got used to it yet.
right. Give yourself some time to let the boundaries settle in. Allow yourself to adjust. Give yourself some grace as well and give yourself some leeway and some flexibility. Like you have to be realistic with your boundaries as well.
Yep.
If you're just going from 0 to 100, then you are setting yourself up to crack.
Yep.
And then you're just feeding, then you start to feed in the cycle. Oh, well, I tried and I can't do it. And that's a whole nother thing. And then you have to return back to acceptance of like, okay, are you accepting that? Like, what are you accepting here? Like, and what do you want more of? Do
Mm-hmm.
you, and why is this boundary important? I feel like that is really key here.
Right.
What are you setting the boundary for? How is this going to benefit you? And how is this boundary in alignment with your personal values? Is this
Mm-hmm.
boundary in alignment with who you are becoming or who you want to become? Like the type of person, adult
Mm-hmm.
that you want to be, because you can change at any point in your life. You don't have to stay. So we're talking about this adulting ish. It's permanent, but you can change though, right? So you being stuck in your ways, quote unquote, you don't have to be stuck in your ways. That's bullshit. You can't
Right.
change.
Right.
Acknowledge where you're stuck. You can also get support with that if you're unsure
Mhm.
of where you're stuck or you realize where you're stuck, but you don't know how to get out of that stuckness. That's where,
Right.
coaches, counselors, trainers, and consultants can come in and support you, or just finding, a community that can um, help you, support you in various ways. There's all types of
Right.
things for that. But you don't have to be stuck in your ways. You don't have to stay stuck in
Mm-hmm.
the same situation. That is a decision.
That's right.
And if
Your
you're choosing
decision.
that, then your boundaries, conscious boundaries and unconscious boundaries, right, are going to
Mm-hmm.
reflect that. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
reflect your decisions that you have made public, or those that you have that you're not even aware of. Sometimes
Right.
we have made decisions by not choosing, so to speak. So you're choosing to
Right.
not do something, but that's also a decision, and so you're going to have a
Absolutely.
boundary or lack thereof. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
always tired but you're a people pleaser, and you're constantly on the phone talking to people or listening to other people's problems, and you're not really because you want to make other people happy, and you're really not doing that for yourself, you're not putting yourself first, then
Mm-hmm.
that's the boundary that you've created. You've allowed yourself to be accessible all the time without putting yourself first, without allowing yourself to have the capacity, the emotional capacity, the mental capacity, the energetic capacity to actually fully be there. You're just allowing yourself to continuously be drained, and then you will keep attracting those type of people into your life and those
Mm-hmm.
experiences or
Right.
that career path. And so, um, with boundaries, it has to start from within, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
recognize why does this matter? Are you creating a boundary because you think you should,
Right.
or because this is something that you want for yourself, or you know that you
Mm-hmm.
need this in order to reach a certain goal? And here's the
Right.
thing: you are not. There's going to be things that you're going to have to do, or things that you're going to have to establish. You can want something, but that doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable, and that doesn't mean that you're going to like every step of the way.
Right.
So that's a part of it too.
That's true. That's true. That comes with what. Remember, I said those of you who didn't hear, but back in the acceptance piece where I said accepting is turning on the light to your journey. That's the part where you'll be able to see everything. And I said that you're not going to like a lot of things what you see. You may go through some challenges or what have you, but you've lit the journey. And when you accept the boundaries, or when you look at the boundaries that you decided to create, as you were just speaking of, um, you can shine a light on that situation even further by going back, like you said, to acceptance and saying, dang, I mean, oh, this boundary was created because it was trauma based. Some of us create boundaries due to trauma, and that's the frequency that we're used to. So you have to really be careful in choosing the type of boundary you create, simply because you're going to rest in that frequency. And you can, as you were speaking, sometimes get into a frequency that you don't like. You are an overachiever, and it's not necessary. You're overachieving because you want approval. And because you're wanting approval so bad, you're overachieving and you're overworking yourself, and you're not pouring into yourself enough. So therefore, what you're giving is half-assed because you didn't set up the right frequency in the boundary that you created, or didn't create a boundary consciously, and you allowed yourself to rest in a frequency that's going to always keep you down, always
Yeah.
keep you in spaces of chaos and conflict and confrontation. So you must create boundaries for yourself. You must get to the point to where boundary is essential, and you look at it from a stance of what's healthy for me in this particular situation, what will yield peace, what will bring peace, and what is something that I would enjoy resting in. And those of them who are in my life, do they vibrate in that same way? Do they carry that same type of frequency to be able to respect, even though they don't have to agree with what you choose as a boundary? They can respect what your boundaries are and still be communicating with you, loving on you, sharing with you, building you, and helping you grow, because they're in that frequency, just not on that band of frequency. So they don't want no ish. They don't want no trouble. They're realizing that their adult life ish is permanent as well. They're realizing that it's permanent. So they're like, hey, I'm in the place in my life where I don't have no judgment. If this is what floats your boat, baby, this is what floats your boat, go ahead and do it. This is how you feel. This is what energy you want to rest in. Go ahead and do it, because they too are in that space. You'll vibrate that kind of stuff to you by setting healthy boundaries with the type of frequency you want to be in. And I think that's like highly, highly important. So y'all heard all the things we said this time around. Look at it. Look at it from a standpoint of, did I unconsciously accept this boundary and I do it out of trauma? Right now, the boundaries I have set, and then look at those boundaries you already have in place, and look at all the things you uncovered during your acceptance, and see if those things need to be altered because you no longer are vibrating on that frequency. So
Yeah.
look at that. You take your homework from last session into this session and look at it, walk through it and see, and generate boundaries of high vibrational frequencies and not
Yes, they're in
trauma.
alignment. Like like the question you can ask is this is this boundary in alignment with the direction that I want to take?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, does it make sense for the direction that I want to take, for who I'm becoming, who I want to be, the type of person that I want to be?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, because there has to be some congruence there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if it does it make sense for the season of life that you're in right now, because we have different, and you can't compare. I feel like this comes up a lot, as well, and we can talk about this more in the next episode when we talk about planning.
Mm-hmm.
But expectations of there was a point in your life where you had these boundaries, things were great, but like you can't go backwards, and that's what we talk about. It's adulting is permanent. Like, you can't return back to that stage of your life that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
So your capacity for certain things is different. Your responsibilities are
Right.
different. So you can't, if you're comparing it to who you were versus who you're becoming, versus where you're at now, that's where challenges can really come up. But like I mentioned, we'll talk more about that in when we talk about planning.
Yes.
And any final words before we wrap up, Maya?
Honey, listen, y'all got y'all homework cut out for y'all. Don't forget to go over there to our website or to our YouTube page, our Instagram page, our Twitter feed, and our Facebook page. Submit your questions, whatever your choice of platform. Submit your questions from the homework that you've done. Submit your shares and experiences. We'd love, love, love to have those and collect those so that we can do them in our Q&A sessions, our wrap-up Q&A sessions, which is our reset. Okay, so spirit is us having the overhead topic that we talk about, that we're introducing you and how we're going to break it down. Wisdom are all of the things like these sub sessions episodes that we will be doing, that are going to to uncover and unfold wisdom within you based off of our experiences, right? And then the reset is going to be that Q&A, honey, that
Yes.
Q&A. And occasionally y'all might get it's an after party, y'all. Hey, hey,
After
hey,
the show, it's an after party. After the party
hey.
in the
So
hotel lobby.
hey, okay. So listen, y'all. I'm telling you, this is lit. This is bomb. We're so excited about it. We're so excited to share with you in the ways that we're sharing with you. Please share us with your friends. Let them know about us so that that we can all love one another in such a profound way. Sharing is caring, and sharing everything we do is sharing the love. I promise you that. I am Mayette Ajay, and my beautiful co-host.
Joe Wajette.
Yes, we out this piece. Okay. Next one coming up
Bye.
is the plan, creating the plan.
Yes. See y'all
Talk
on
to
the
y'all
next
later.
one.
Peace.